Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express, the important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 3rd of July, the first important news, that is India-China ramp up the infrastructure on the Pangong Lake. This is again an important and strategic point when it comes to India-China border in the eastern Ladakh region. Second, that is strict GST regulation norms using the geotagging and biometrics. This is what the Central Board for Direct and Indirect Taxes has come up with. Third, that is higher value of note to fill the value lost due to demonetization, a statement coming out from the former RBI team. Second last, that is child welfare committees to review the child adoption, a directive that was given by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. And the last is an editorial, a case for unchecked power to restrict the e-free speech, right? Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin this session, if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. So starting this session with the first news, that is India-China ramp up the infrastructure projects on the Pangong Lake. Something important for General Studies paper 2. And the mains, that is India and its neighborhood relations. Those of you who are writing mains this time, the topic between India and China has been significant for past couple of years due to the ongoing conflict and even the part of the resolution which is not there. So you can expect here and there questions related to India and China relations. So 3 years after the violent clash which took place between the Indian and Chinese forces in the Galvan Valley, followed by the tank facing each other around the Pangong Lake. So there's a ramp up of the infrastructure development which is coming from both sides. By both sides, I mean both from India and China, right? So this is a map which will help you understand the part and how the Pangong Lake is important, Pangong Lake. So you can see these are some of the location, the prominent area, right? So this is the line of actual control in the Ladakh region, basically the eastern Ladakh region, better known as LAC, right? And these are the part of the construction that is taking place, right? So this is an endorheic saline lake spanning over the eastern Ladakh and the West Tibet. So map work is always a significant part for the UPSC prelims examination. And even for mains, if you are able to draw a short frame diagram, that will definitely give you an added advantage. Now, what is the project that is being developed, the part of the development that is taking place? So if you see, China is actually rushing to complete the part of the bridges. And there were several reports, the satellite images from the army and other law enforcement agencies that yes, the construction is taking place in the Pangong Lake and connecting the north to the south bank. India is also building a blacktop road on the side of the north bank. So this is all construction activities that I'll be discussing is about India. And India is also having the infrastructure project that is initiated at both sides, where India called for permanently, looking for the region. And specifically, if you see the part of development, as a negotiation, we had 19 round of corpus commander level talk, but the resolutions that was expected was not there because with the malafide intention of China, and even this is something which is like a conclusion can be redrawn that China is not looking forward to come to a conclusion, right? Agar koi country conclusion mein aana hi nahi chahti hai, you can have n numbers of negotiation, it will not be there. This is how the diplomatic policies actually work. Now, India is constructing a blacktop road towards the Finger 4 in the progress, and it is expected to complete by 2025. See, in this terrain region, there are a lot of bottlenecks which is there in terms of infrastructure facilities compared to the plain areas. So definitely the time would be there and the deadline is by 2025. It's a measure impetus on the infrastructure, road and advanced landing ground and so on. Now, the construction that is taking place by the Chinese side, they're also building up. What are the construction activities? So they have a large scale construction activities that was observed in the North Bank. So basically both countries are looking forward to counter each other. The work on the road connectivity around the South Bank towards the Sandon village is in progress. And another sources said that this is actually the intelligence output that was reported. The Chinese air defense site is located in the Kurna fort, and 22-kilometer tunnel is under construction along the G0177 expressway at Yuli, connecting very important G216 highway in Tepan. So strategically, basically Chinese are looking for a specific point, a specific infrastructure project that will help them to reach out and penetrate to the part of the Indian region. Now, the budget allocations that was by the government of India, definitely there is a need for huge finance to build any infrastructure over there. The BRO, this is an important organization. I'll request कि आप इसके बारे में थोड़ा search कर ले. You go to their official website and do check it out. One thing that which ministry is regulating BRO. I think most of you must be aware. If not, do check it out, right? So this is an increasing, the part of the amount has increased, like it has reached up to 5,000 crore rupees compared to the earlier one that was 3,500 crore rupees. Now, similar amount has been spent in the India-China border route plan. The first sources said that it has a significant progress under the second phase of ICBI plan. It envisages for the construction of 1,400 kilometers strategic road along the line of actual control, and the BRO close to finishing the road of some of the key infrastructure project in the eastern sector, improving the weather connectivity of the LEC, that is line of actual control. And just to tell you about the BRO, UPSC has already asked questions in CAPF examination. So if you are an aspirant of CAPF, these type of questions will definitely help you. So check out BRO के बारे में पढ़ें और कौन से मिनिस्ट्रीज के अंदर ये काम करती हैं, ये सब आपको पता होना चाहिए. Now, the strict GST regulation norms using the geotagging and biometrics, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. So the apex body when it comes to indirect taxes, that is the Central Board of Indirect Taxes, the chairman of CBIC has said that they will be strengthening the part of the registration and verifications for the goods and services tax resistant. तो जितने भी नए registrant होंगे GST को लेकर के उनकी biometric identity की जाएगी. This is one part, and again the second part involved is a geotagging to verify the place of business that is operating. It is very important because there are a lot of fraudulent activity that is ongoing without any physical establishment. The people are showing that they are working with using the GST as malafide intentions. Now, even the existing taxpayer who have been identified as a risky could be subject to further biometric verifications. Now, recently there has been the detections about 12,500 fake entities. This was reported by the GST authorities, and they are looking forward to tighten the part of the biometric registration and geotagging in the part of the risky entities. Now, what is the next course of action? If you look at the part of the action that will be taken, so the Central Board of Indirect Taxes is planning to authorize the representative of the directors of the companies and apply for the new registration in the existing time frame, so that the biometrics process could be completed. And the planning has come in the wake of fraudulent cases that has been reported, which is close to 12.5k cases. This would be asked to authenticate the part of biometric information, which is same as Aadhaar. When you go for Aadhaar, you have a biometrics data with them. And the tax officer will be looking for any suspicious which is there in kind of any fraudulent activities that is taking during the ITC claim, that is the income tax claim. So this is how things will work, and this will work in a right direction. Now, geotagging of all entity has again become important. This is how it will ensure a full proof to any fraudulent activities that is there. So CBIC officers are planning to make a geotagging of all entity mandatory, and the geotagging will help the officers to authenticate the pass of address that is provided, and this will ensure the double check on the part of the entity register. The organization has already implemented the biometric authentications. तो इससे ये होगा कि जितने लोग ने registered किया अपने आप को, they will be verified using the geotagging. तो this is something, the full proof that will be there. और इसके साथ the government of India through the CBIC has also launched the Pan-India evaluations and result for the trial project. So very important. These type of reform was actually needed when it comes to CBIC. Now, रिपोर्ट ऑफ फेक केसेस की मैंने आपको बता दी है, बहुत सारे केसेस रिपोर्ट किए गए हैं, कुछ स्टेट्स जहां से ज़्यादा केसेस रिपोर्ट हुए हैं, दैट इंक्लूड द पार्ट स्टेट्स लाइक हरियाणा, राजस्थान एंड दिल्ली, एंड rampant cases of the fake were there in Haryana, Rajasthan and Delhi. Certain area like Gujarat, Noida, Kolkata, Assam, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra has been reported with a fake registration of the GST. And most fake entities belong to the sector like metal or plastic, scrap, and the waste paper. So these are the industries which has been reported with most of the fake cases. And moving to the other news, that is the higher value note to fill the value lost due to demonetization. This is something important for General Studies paper 2. That is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So, according to the former Reserve Bank of Governor official, it has said that the 2000 note that was printed by the RBI aims to basically support the part of the demonetization that took place by the government. So, the member has said that the latest series of Indian currency, basically I'm talking about 2000 note currency, was launched after demonetizations to ensure कि जो shortfall है amount में उस mismatch को fulfill की जा सके. And even recently RBI ने मई में ये अनाउंस भी किया that they will be withdrawing the part of 2000 denominations, but still it will be a legal tender till August, right? तो गवर्नमेंट ने अभी अगस्त का टाइम दिया, अगस्त सितंबर, possibly it might extend, but I feel they will not extend because substantial time has already been provided. Now, intention behind the move, what was the intention? The new note of 2000 were used as a part in the wake of the demonetization driving, which was there banning the part of the 500 and 1000 notes. Post announcement, RBI has issued the note for demonetizations with the rupees, like they're the part of the rupees that were issued, the newly rupeed 500, 2000, 10, 20, 50, 100 and 200. Now, one thing that would be relevant for prelims and if you are preparing for any other government examination, यहाँ पे ये चीज़ें काफ़ी important हो सकती है कि किस नोट पे कौन सी यूनेस्को साइट्स को रिलीज की गई है, बिकॉज RBI has chosen all UNESCO sites in their note, right? For 500 it was a Red Fort, for 100 it was Rani Ka Vav from Gujarat, 50 Hampi in Karnataka, 20 Maharashtra का Ellora Cave, and for 10 it was Konark Temple. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, यूपीएससी इज आस्किंग पेयर बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, तो पेयर वाले सवालों में ये सवाल भी पूछे जा सकते हैं. फॉर मेनी अदर गवर्नमेंट एग्जामिनेशन इट विल बी देयर. आई विल शो यू इमेज आल्सो, तो आपके लिए थोड़ी चीज़ें क्लियर होंगी एंड यू विल बी able to get the complete picture about the images which is there, right? So have a look at this. These are all the images which is there, right? And RBI has decided to have a UNESCO World Heritage Site and every theme and generations in the currency notes. Now, moving to the other news. Child welfare committees to review the child adoption policy, something important for General Studies paper 2. That is the welfare schemes for the vulnerable section of the population by the center and the state government. Ministry of Women and Child Development has asked the child welfare committees to visit the child care homes to review the case of older children who could have made free for adoptions as soon as possible. Now, many children living in the child care homes are not basically legally free for adoption because in India, adoption law are stringent. There are some due process of law that has to be followed. According to the official figure, there are around 6,600 children residing in the care homes and around less than 3,000 people are legally free. Children are legally free for adoptions only. Implementation of its decision की बात की गई है, जो मिनिस्ट्री ने बेसिकली डिसाइड किया उसकी implementations की बात की गई है. The child welfare committees will visit the child care home and review the cases for older children who would be made free for adoptions at the earliest. The ministry has already reviewed the 2 states to look into the part of 9,000 cases that were there, and 164 of such were reported legally free from adoptions. Now, the child care home look at the infrastructure gap and even the part which were requested. The National Commission for Protection of Child, उनके से request की गई है that the gap should be filled, and the ministry can brought up the upcoming budget that how things need to be implemented, even providing for the complete part of the gaps and even fulfilling wherever the gap is there, और infrastructure gaps को fill करने के लिए इस तरह के important decisions भी लिए जाएंगे. The government interventions in the past 9 years, there have been 3 lakh children who were declared missing and has been reunited with the parents. Earlier, under the Child Protection Services, 2,000 a month were offered for the non-institutional care, and this can now have been increased for 4,000 a month under the mission वात्सल्य. तो पहले की जो अमाउंट थी उसमें भी डिफरेंस आई है. अब ये सारी चीजों को केयरफुली ध्यान रखें. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, that is the case for unchecked power and restrict e-free speech, which is again a lot debated. Something important for gender studies paper 2, that is the government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So this is about the issue of free speech, or you can say e-free speech. We'll see the part of ignorance of the procedural safeguard, free speech and its chilling effect, and the conclusion. Now, you must be aware of the fact that there was one order in June by the Karnataka High Court which has dismissed the petition which was found by the Twitter Inc. That is challenging the part of blocking order by the Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, और जो IT मिनिस्ट्री उन्होंने सेक्शन 69A ऑफ IT एक्ट को इन्वोक किया और कहा कि ट्विटर के जितने भी अकाउंट के स्पेसिफिक टाइम ईयर के ट्वीट्स है दैट शुड बी बैन्ड, राइट. Now the High Court has imposed a cost of 50 lakh rupees, stating that it has not given reason to comply for the center decision. Now the judgment, basically जो critics हैं, yeah, even for the expert, they are saying that this judgment will actually undermining the part of right to free speech, which is a part of the fundamental right envisaged under the Constitution of India, right? Or it paves for the way for unchecked powers which is there with the states, and even for the part of procedures that is coming out for the law and order. Moreover, it exhibits the part of the hindrance of the digital right and of a free services of free speech and even disseminations of the false speech. So kahin na kahin ek conflict hai. They need to have a midline, and mean should be there so that it can be understandable to the citizen of the country that what exactly is right, whether the Twitter which is invoking the part of the fundamental right, or the Karnataka government which has actually said that the compliances are not there and the fine and penalty should also be paid. Now, ignorance of the procedural safeguard की बात की गई है. आर्टिकल जो सेक्शन 69 है of IT Act, it empower the state to issue a block regarding the emergence of the ground, जहाँ पे sovereignty and integrity की बात है. Defense of India, this is what is actually envisaged. अगर आप इसे मेंस में लिखें तो ये सारे पॉइंट्स आपको लिखने होंगे कि 69A में क्या क्या चीज़ों पे कंसर्न रखी गई है. फर्स्ट इज द सोवरेनिटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ इंडिया. डिफेंस ऑफ इंडिया से रिलेटेड मैटर होगी उसे ब्लॉक कर दी जाएगी. Security of the states, friendly relations with the foreign, public affairs and preventing the incitement, and even any cognizable offense which is related to that will be under section 69A of the IT Act. Now, Information IT Act की अगर बात करें, blocking for the part of access is also there's a new rule in 2009 which called for a blocking rules and lays down the procedures for any blocking which is there under 69A. तो और central government ने empower किया इस rules के through. The provision for constitutionality was challenged in the Shreya Shingal versus Union of India. This is an important judgment. Those of you who are writing mains this year, make sure आप ये judgment को जरूर quote करें. तो श्रेया सिंगल वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने अपहेल्ड की थी वैलिडिटी ऑफ सेक्शन 69A दैट ब्लॉकिंग रूल्स आफ्टर द ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ सफिशिएंट प्रोसीजरल सेफगार्ड वेर एम्बेडेड एंड सच प्रोविजंस ऑफ रिकॉर्डिंग seasoned order provided that the notice to intermediary and originator whose content was sought to be blocked. तो कहीं ना कहीं सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी इस बात से इत्तेफाक रखा था, बट to the fact that they have to be provided with a reasonable restrictions and that should not be any guided with any malafide intentions at the early. Now, free speech की chilling effects, basically reasonable restrictions of fundamental right of the freedom of speech and expressions is even the basic right that is there in the fundamental right, that is 19.2. And the Supreme Court has clarified this in Shreya Shingal versus the Union of India that blocking must confer on the grounds only and it should not be done with any other intentions. Misinformations and fake news on the ground were under the free speech that can be restricted. And Supreme Court has repeatedly held that the speech to the prejudicial maintenance, the public order must be directly linked between the speech and the potential threat of the public order. Now, you can conclude the article by stating that जो कर्नाटका हाई कोर्ट की जजमेंट है वो सबवर्ट करती है procedural safeguard which is provided under the part of the fundamental right under the freedom of speech and erode the principle of natural justice and dialects the part which is affected party and allowed their person cease to appear for the best abilities. So rule of law mein there is always a law of appeal. So these part need to be taken care of. And Karnataka High Court judgment of the Twitter is omnivorous and subvert the part of procedural safeguard that must be employed while restricting to the freedom of speech. So this is how things can work. And a part of the speech, I mean talking about the fundamental right that should be invoked. और यहाँ पे ज़रूरत है कि इस तरह की कंपनी जो इंटरनेशनल कंपनीज है दैट शुड ऑल्सो बी एडहरिंग विद द रूल्स एंड लॉज. दे कैन नॉट ओनली कंटेंट विद द जुडिशरी और जस्टिस के लिए आप हाई कोर्ट के पास आ रहे हैं, बट डेफिनेटली द इंटेंशन शुड ऑल्सो बी देयर दैट नो मलेफाइडी पार्ट इज डन एंड अ रूल ऑफ लॉ ऑफ अ कंट्री मस्ट बी फॉलोड, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ यू कैन कंक्लूड योर आंसर्स. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first, the correct option was D. For second, the correct option was C. Today's MCQ for practice, आपको viral spillover के बारे में बताना है. It's a transmission from one virus and habitually circulating the part of the host species. It is increasing the climate change in the high Arctic lake sentiments. Now, Competition Commission of India, an important body. उसके बारे में आप discuss करें. Statements. It's an executive body under the Competition Act 2002. It is an antitrust watchdog for the part of the abuse and dominant positions with there by the company in the market. So up statement, you just pause this video, read out the complete statement carefully, then your correct answer for the questions. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can reach out to us about the courses, programs and initiatives that you are working for. I will be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.